It is really hard to ignore nature signs now. The summer has truly come to an end. We've lived in the countryside of France for 6 years now, and I'm beginning to see the patterns in the year. Everything that's growing in our garden has a specific time to shine, and I can tell from this beautiful Virginia creeper that rapidly is changing colors now and turning such a beautiful red. That school has started and it's probably coming close to October. Also, these earth apples, topinambour in French, are always blooming at the end of September. Like when everything in the garden is dying and sad looking, they pop up everywhere in our village and are bringing joy with their happy yellow color. I am taking down all the garden furniture and putting it all back in storage. I don't know, it still feels like this has come too quickly, but it has to be done. And meanwhile, Olaf is cutting the hedges and doing some pruning so that we hopefully can get a little more light in our greenhouse. We're really trying to get a bit more of these tomatoes to turn all juicy and colorful so we can still enjoy them. I've planted a few fall flowers, so the house still looks nice and colorful. And we also hired someone to prune our cherry tree, so all should be ready and prepared for the upcoming season of rest. It was my youngest 14th birthday, and he asked me to bake a typical pie. I'm from the south of the Netherlands originally, and this is a pie that we bake in the south of the Netherlands called a vlaai. So there's many varieties of it, and he asked for what we call a kruimelvlaai. It is like a crumble pie, and it is filled with vanilla pudding. And I found out too late that I was out of vanilla pods, so I had to use like this artificial vanilla thing, or I don't know if it's artificial, but it's not as good as the real thing. And it's quite time consuming because the base of it, the crust of it, is actually made as a bread dough, so it needs to rise for about an hour or maybe more. So I was taking my time this morning to bake this for my youngest son. Meanwhile, Olaf has started our next building project. It is dusty and it's messy, and I don't know if we can do it, but I'm happy that we started. So for the base, you make like a bread dough with flour, milk, egg, sugar, and a little bit of salt and yeast. You mix that well, shape it into a ball, and leave it to rise for about an hour in a warm place. Then you move on to making the vanilla pudding, the cream. I think it's crème pâtissière in French. And you make this with egg yolks and milk and cornstarch and sugar, of course. You mix the egg yolks with the sugar, the cornstarch, and a little bit of milk until you get a nice smooth structure. Then you warm up your milk. And you're going to add a little bit of the warm milk to the mixture. Mix that really well, and then pour everything back with all of the milk into your pan, and you're going to boil that for a little bit so that it thickens. It gets really, really thick. Then you leave that to cool, and you continue to making your crumble dough. Now, I was really running out of time here because Olaf's parents are visiting and they were almost about to come. So Olaf helped me because it needs to bake for about 30 minutes as well. I will leave the complete recipe in the description box if you want to try this at home. So as nature is preparing for a season of rest, we are gearing up for a couple of very busy and intense months as we've started our new building project. And I am excited to be sharing a first few shots of that in my next video, but also to share with you my design ideas for the offices that we're going to create. So thank you as always so much for being here, for supporting us, and for watching this video. And I will be back next week with a new video on our next project that we've just started.